Buffalo heads. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Buds. Today we're reviewing one of our favorite bourbons, Weller Antique 107. Zach, would you care to tell us about it?
Sure. So this is Buffalo Trace's main weeded product other than Pappy. For people that don't know, Weller and Pappy are the same recipe. Buffalo Trace bought Weller, I think, off of Stitzel Weller. And they did that, and then they eventually bought the Pappy. So the cool thing about 107 is it's the exact same thing as Special Reserve, but it's 107. It's uncut. There's also several other bottles in the Weller lineup. There's Special Reserve, this Full Proof, Crafter Perfect Barrel, and Single Barrel. So Nick, are you ready to try it?
Yeah, and then one thing I wanted to mention was the creator of Weller, William LaRue Weller, is credited as the first man to put wheat in his bourbon mash bill instead of rye, which is why you have companies like Bernheim and Maker's Mark that also use wheat instead of rye in their mash bills. And with that being said, yes, I am ready to try it.
And larceny.
Yeah, oh yeah. What do you get off that, Zach?
I get like red fruit and cinnamon and maybe just a hint of oak on the nose. What do you get?
Yeah, it's a lot of, it is a lot of red fruit.
Bacon spices.
Yeah, I don't really get much of oak off of it, but I do get a little hint of cinnamon in there, and that really does enhance the overall.
It's weird, you normally don't smell any type of fruit and cinnamon in the same nose.
Except with this.
Yeah.
And when you do, it's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of this is another case, folks, of a bourbon that tastes how it smells.
Delicious.
Yes.
For those of you who watch Dave Chappelle, you get that joke.
Well,
This is the Chappelle Show.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen that show in a while, so oh well. But you get a lot of red fruit out of this. You get a slight oak on the finish. At least that's what I'm getting off of it. And you do get the cinnamon. And another thing to note is last week's episode, the Woodford Reserve Honey Barrel finish was also
that tastes more like honey.
Yes, thank you, Zach. And partially because that's the higher proof, and with the weeded aspect of this bourbon, it kind of helps it gain a sweetness that the honey barrel didn't have, which is fantastic. And so, what is the price of this? What is the price of this bourbon?
It's about I think it's about 50 retail.
Mm-hmm. Well, and yeah, about 80 plus on secondary.
Which I think it's more than worth that. I mean, it's a good deal because this next step up is the full proof, and it's $300 on secondary. So.
Well, wait till you hear this, Zach. For those of you who may not know, that prior to 2019, this bottle had a different retail price. Prior to 2019, this bottle was $23.
That's crazy.
Yes, and post 2019, it's like around 50. But could you imagine back in the day when people just kind of saw this in the store? It's like, hey, I kind of like Special Reserve. Let's pick this up. And then they had their it wowed their socks off.
Or even like before that, when it was Stitzel Weller juice.
How much was it during that point?
I don't know, Nick. I wasn't alive.
Well, that's unfortunate because my jaw would have hit the floor. But, you have any final thoughts on this bourbon?
It's delicious.
Yep, that's about the same here. If you can catch this on secondary, you're doing yourself nothing but a favor reviewing this bottle. Or not reviewing, but tasting this bottle, excuse me. But with that being said, folks, this has been another episode of the Bourbon Buzz. We hope you've enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notified of when we upload. And be sure to follow our Instagram down in the description below. Thank you all.